What have we got in today's program? It's a very special program in the sense that at the end, we have discussed Tanzania here before, but we haven't discussed it at length in terms of the president. I remember we discussed it at the time when Magufuli died, and we didn't go that much in details. But what have we got? This is what we have. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan is 1 year in office. What is next for the first female president of the Republic of Tanzania? Many thought when she took office that the pressure might force her out, especially since she came in office unexpectedly with the sudden death of Magufuli. Now, what has she done so far and where is she heading? This is very, very important in terms of the way Africa operates and the way Tanzania itself operates, as you hear. These are some of the questions that we're going to find answers to. Now, with me in the studio is Mr. Abdulaziz Jed, a Tanzanian expatriate within the financial and technological industries here in London, and he follows the political issues in Tanzania. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Right. She came in unexpectedly, but she's done a wonderful job so far, according to the various sources that I've been reading about, not just in the newspapers, but even discussing with Tanzanians that I know. She's doing a good job so far. She's managed to hold, and people have started listening to what she's saying. What should we expect in future? Why is she doing well? Because the expectation at the beginning was that, no, she might actually crumble and say, let someone else take this seat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She, as you have started describing her,
Yeah.
she did a tremendous good achievement within the first 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
Contrary to some of the people, but it is in line with some of the people who knows her from the beginning.
Okay.
Being capable woman, being capable leader. She came into power untimely.
Yeah, yeah.
While the late President Magufuli passed away. So it was unprepared. And at that time also there was a lot of problems of pandemic.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a very uncertain time when she came into the leadership. Despite of that, within the first 3 months, in Western countries here, we take the first 100 days, 3 months to say that this is the gauge of how to gauge the president.
Yeah.
But that is just giving you the glimpse. She took the first 3 months to stabilize the country.
Yeah.
And then after 1 year now, we can start to measure the achievement in many angles, namely on the education side,
Okay.
on the political side. She inherited mega iconic projects from the late Magufuli, which she was also a part of the government.
And they were halfway done. They were not ready. Anyway, most of them were not fully implemented. They had not been implemented by Magufuli. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It took almost first 5 years to implement projects like building the electrified rail, standard gauge rail.
Oh yeah, the rail line, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There was another project on the power generation, hydropower generation, which is almost the third biggest dam in Africa.
Yeah, yeah.
On that angle, all those major projects she inherited, she managed to pursue them, and she not only pursue them, she went even faster relative to the first 5 years.
Okay, okay.
So that is one of the achievement on that area of the biggest projects, big iconic projects.
Could that have been because she never changed the people heading those projects? She kept with the policies of Magufuli. But now, from sources I hear, especially from the diplomat, she's changing the policy of Magufuli. She's having a different approach now. And maybe this is where the hint is that she could be, if she leaves the policies of Magufuli, she might find herself in a pitfall.
I don't think that she's leaving the policy, because the leadership is being led and driven by the party manifestos, party policies. I can say that the style is different. The style of Magufuli and
the approach is different. The approach is different.
But they are still, and she is still being within the parameters of the policies and manifestos. She is delivering what they have decided within the party to be delivered, and that's what brought CCM into power.
Chama Pinduzi.
Yes. So she did not change the policies. Of course, some of the players have come new, especially she came, one of the achievements which I was going to bring it to you is empowering of the women. Being the first lady president of Tanzania, and East Africa in general. That was a good opportunity for her as well to recognize the women capabilities. She promoted many capable women within the cabinet. Some of them went to become regional commissioners. Some of them become district commissioners. So that is one of the achievements for the women to be empowered and to be recognized and to get the platform to be able to deliver. Throughout the time, we've been increasing the quota deliberately for women participation, but relatively, she went faster than any other president in Tanzania to empower the women.
The opening of the media houses, this was another issue which people within the Chama Pinduzi at the beginning didn't want. She opened the media houses, those which had been banned by Magufuli. Could this had been an issue at the beginning? Said you should have waited for a while. You shouldn't have, but she did that right immediately. Which others had suggestions. She didn't really like this idea when Magufuli started, because if you don't have an independent media, then you have problems as people start speculating on what is happening in the government policies and so on. She didn't want this at the beginning, according to those within the government, but Magufuli went ahead and banned them. Could this policy work up well if she has division within the Chama Pinduzi?
Again, it's a matter of a different style. But CCM never said they don't want the liberty of a press. What they advocated always is freedom comes with a responsibility.
Of course, that's very important.
Absolutely. So yes, there was a skirmishes before, and one of the achievements which we recorded from the Mama Samia is she allowed the press to
operate independently.
But at the same time, she insisted that you must come with a responsibility. You must respect,
and you have to work within the law.
Work within the law. Respect other side of the reported. So yes, important thing is freedom comes with a responsibility.
Of course. COVID-19.
Yes.
Was another major issue which Magufuli fought so hard. He didn't believe in it. He thought of alternative medicine, all the issues that he discussed with the West. He was upfront with what it is, and he made experiments, and he was saying, look, this is something that belongs to you people, not belonging to us. And to a certain extent, he didn't embrace it. But now she comes in office, the first thing she does is change the whole thing, and even allowed Tanzanians to be vaccinated, which wasn't an issue at the time. She's bought the vaccines in the country. Everything has changed, and everybody's, especially the British, the Americans, they're all embracing her changes and saying, hey, you better take more, you better do this. Could this also, because even in the parliament, even Chama Pinduzi, there were those who were saying, we had gone with the Magufuli. We didn't really have the numbers, but now Tanzania has the numbers of those who are going down with the disease, which were not really being reported at the time in Tanzania. What seems to be the shift in this?
First of all, having the numbers and publishing the numbers is different. The government had always have the numbers.
Okay.
That is number one. Number two, COVID denials are everywhere in the world. Even in Western countries, there are COVID denials.
Yeah.
So people have the right to accept at the beginning until proven beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
So the approach at the beginning, yes, there were some denials, there were some skepticism, but at the same time, what is important was a collective responsibility of the country not to go under lockdown. And I think that is made Tanzania one of the countries which did not get affected economically during that time. Everybody was still continuing its own political, economic activities.
But then the thing is, what was not reported on at the time was the number of people that were dying from the disease in Tanzania. Because when Magufuli was in office, the numbers were very low. But then at the same time, he himself as president was saying, look, he was very skeptical of what was the whole thing about coronavirus. He was and that's what he was saying, look, let's just smoke ourselves, do this. He was having alternatives. Now, that in itself, now he goes away, he dies obviously, and everything changes suddenly. And now we have even people who are reporting from outside moving into Tanzania to see, and now the whole structure suddenly changes. Now, this is what brought in a number of questions, especially from us who have been following this coronavirus in Africa, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Uganda, and so on. We've been following this, and we've seen countries which are coming in and reporting on this. Other than Congo now, Congo is simply saying, no, we have our... one doctor even came up and he said, no. They are telling me to say certain figures, and I'm not going to do that because they're going to get money from the Western countries, and I'm not going to do that. And part of that was what Magufuli had hated at the same time. Said, look, you're not going to tell me to say something and then you give me money. I don't want that. This comes in with a thought that now that she's opening up, maybe there's money going to exchange hands or something, which is worrying again.
No, I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
First of all, time is everything.
Okay.
By that time, that pandemic was just new, coming in. Not people knew, but they couldn't identify even what type of variant of the virus itself at that time.
It had killed everything. So people could die of another disease and still say it's coronavirus.
Exactly. The vaccination was not even proven that it was working at that time. So we had the right to wait and see. So the current president, in my opinion, she used that time. She evaluated the reality, and she saw that Tanzanians need vaccinations, and she gave that permission, allowance for the people to choose as well.
Okay, whether they want to go for it or not.
So that freedom is there. She advocated that this is needed. She campaigned for it herself. She was even vaccinated herself. As an example. So that was a very good example. But after realizing and going through scientific advisors and everything, and convinced, the government is convinced that this is the way forward. So I think she has the right to go that way, because now it is known that we need it. Their vaccines are now proven to be working. Despite of the denials. There are still denials which...
of course, they would always be there.
Exactly. They have the right to take it or not to take it. But I think she is doing for the benefit of the country and the benefit of the nation.
Now, a member of Chama cha Mapinduzi, our own party, her name is January Makamba, she said that she's the most underrated politician in the history of Tanzania. But she's capable, although she's underrated, and people look down upon her. Why is this so? Because you've got a vice president. She came in, the other man knew she would be a good vice president, and that's why he appointed her. But then she's underrated by her own party. And others are saying, oh, she's not capable of doing that.
First of all, I've never heard that.
She mentioned it, and she said, January Makamba, I'm quoting her here. She says, and she says, look, she's the most underrated president in Tanzania, but she's capable. In other words, she says she's underrated. In other words, people think, oh no, she won't. She's not the type of person who can lead us. But then at the same time, they themselves, as members of parliament and politicians, know that she's actually capable.
I think, first of all, I cannot agree.
The reason why I could give you an example where that came from. When she went to see the former opposition leader, Tunde Lissu.
Tunde Lissu.
Yeah, Tunde Lissu, who would, after the assassination attempt, he was in Nairobi hospital.
Yes.
And she went, not even without the permission of anybody. She just went to see him. And when she went to see him and came back to Tanzania, there was that element that, why did she go to see him? And people were saying, but at the end of the day, being probably a shrewd dialogue person, and as this woman says, she's underrated, because people say
he's not a woman.
Sorry. I've seen that name generally named into women.
Yes, but he's
okay. Thank you for that correction. Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah,
let's start with that being underrated. I don't agree that he's underrated.
You don't agree that
we could say that she was relatively unknown.
Okay.
At the realm of a leadership. The nature and the structure of our constitution, if a vice president, if somebody is coming vice president, normally is becoming a low profile.
Okay.
Because it's a structure of the constitution.
All right.
Due to respect of authority and everything. But she has been a good minister many years, even before becoming a vice president. And while she was a vice president, she was working with the president in delivering all these projects which were being
done. Is there criteria of which somebody's jumps into the role of a vice president or a minister in Tanzania? Because if these roles are there, they are not appointed roles which are approved by the government.
So you're proving my point here. That she was and she is capable from the beginning. She was a minister, and in order to become a minister, you need to become a member of parliament. And she was a member of parliament from her constituents in Zanzibar, and then she was elected to become a minister, even under President Kikwete.
Oh, she was even under Kikwete. Okay.
Exactly. And she delivered her portfolio extremely well.
Okay.
That's why President Magufuli, the late President Magufuli,
saw
her as one of the aspirants to become a runner-up, running mate. And she proved beyond reasonable doubt while she was a vice president. And Magufuli had the right to change the running mate
to someone else.
And yet she appointed her. So that is the criteria, or one of the factors, or facts rather, to say that no, she was not underrated. She was a good leader. And it's only the structure of the government, structure of the constitution. One leader has to be respected, and now it is her time. So that's why now we see her capability in the limelight. We see how she's delivering.
They're going to see the opposition leader who had been attempted. Could that also have sort of, was that with the blessing of the party, or the Chama cha Mapinduzi, or was it a personal choice that she just
whether it is a personal choice or whether it is a blessing of the party? She's a leader. She was elected in the ticket of a party, CCM. But once you are elected, you are the leader of the whole nation.
Of course.
And Tunde Lissu is one of the citizens, like me, like anybody. Exactly. So, being the vice president, she can go and visit the citizen wherever they are. So I'm quite 100% sure that she did well.
Yeah.
And it is within her
Yeah.
remit as a vice president, as a leader, to go and see. She even went to see Tutu Lissu again as a president in Europe.
In Belgium, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, in Belgium, yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they took a picture together, and then
Yeah.
they say, "This is my brother. We are
Yeah.
here as a brother and sister.
Yeah.
But when we come to work,
Yeah.
I am from CCM. I will advocate my party interest for the best and interest of the nation, and Tundu Lissu will do the same in his own party.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so she is there for she understands and she advocates that leniency, the good civilized way of politicking.
Okay. Now,
And that is a very good achievement and way forward for the
okay.
country.
Now, Tanzania, when Mwalimu was in office,
Yes.
they had very few political parties. Now, quite a number of political parties have sprung up, and some people are moving away from Chama cha Mapinduzi and moving and forming, going to these parties. Do you see a challenge in future whereby Tanzania will have Chama cha Mapinduzi is going to have major problems like KANU had in Kenya when Kenyatta went, and now when we're looking at parties, even in next elections in Kenya this year, I understand they have equal almost something like 50 parties that might come in and challenge for the leadership. Do you see that happening in Tanzania now that the political structure landscape is changing and more people are educated as far as politics is concerned?
We started multi-party politics in 1995.
Just in 1995?
Yes.
Wow.
Is relatively long for African country to have survived the multi-party system successfully during that time.
Yeah.
And that was the second president of the United Republic of Tanzania, Mr. Ali Hassan, who introduced the multi-party system, and then he left.
Yeah.
And the third president contested under the multi-party system.
Yeah.
Since that time, CCM was still under the leadership. Yes, many parties were formed at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And in that time, many people left
The
as
Chama,
well,
yeah.
Chama cha Mapinduzi, and yet CCM survived. There were two former prime ministers who left, and then they end up coming back. Yes? And they are now members of CCM again.
Okay.
So I don't see that is a problem. We need to encourage the civil and civilized way of politics within these multi-party systems. And yes, they're all doing for the best interest of the country. But I don't see major issues if for system.
No, the reason why I'm saying that is that the way the advancement is coming up, the population is coming up.
Exactly.
And as the population gets up, obviously, people get more educated politically in the sense that you have a middle class which is coming up in Tanzania now. You have people getting more wealthy, and you have, not like long time ago in the 60s when they believed into one or two leadership. Now you have other parties who are coming in, and with that coming in, Tanzania is getting wealthier. There are more people with the money. And
we're middle-level income nation now.
Nation has come up, and people have come from abroad. So many of them here in the UK and other parts of the world, and they're going. When they go back, they say, "Oh, hang on a minute! I think I can do it here. I think I can do this." And that is why when I look at it and I said, in the next 10, 15 years or so, the challenges that are coming up, people might start saying, "Oh, I think," just like in Kenya, I think we need to have a change of political. Let's have a different leader now. There are different political party to see. Because I looked at your manifesto, the manifesto of the party.
Yes.
It's quite a good one. But when I look at the manifestos of other smaller parties, and I say, others are even going more on the ground than Chama cha Mapinduzi. Because Chama cha Mapinduzi are quite confident. Nobody is going to take them anything away from them. They're confident. So they're not bringing in probably more ideas that are more innovative because they've been in office, and they will always be...
I tend to disagree a little bit because CCM has gone a lot of transformation.
Okay.
since its formation, since the union of TANU and ISP of Zanzibar. But at the same time, Tanzanians have themselves has gone a lot of transformation
of course,
since independence.
Of course,
we started 60 years ago approximately. Now, we started the first 10 years was just soul searching of where we are going. 10 years later, we embarked on socialism. Under Nyerere, Mwalimu Nyerere. We experimented many shapes and forms of socialism at that time.
I know.
For almost 2 decades. And then the second president come under the economic liberalization, which we can say that is a slight movement away from socialism in terms of economy only. But the ideology still remained on the socialism side. So all these periods of transformations, and then we came after economic liberalization policies, and then we come to the multi-party system. People of Tanzania have become matured. The maturity, more civilized. That's why they withered the storms and everything until now. They understand who delivers more. So until this moment, they have chosen which party which delivers more. But we understand that we allowed multi-party system, yes. This is for the betterment of the country. But the more we fight for the national interest, I think it's betterment of the nation rather than to fight for the party interest. So what I can say, CCM still leads at the moment, and it has been adaptive.
The key question,
adaptive capabilities have been there.
The key question that have always been on people's mind, especially people from where I come from in Uganda, is what is it that Nyerere did right in the 60s that Obote, Kenyatta and other African leaders never did? The issue of the language was Swahili was a right moment, because Tanzania has over 80 languages. But you see,
120,
120 languages.
Yes.
Oh, beg your
those
pardon.
are the registered ones.
But
there might be more.
There might be more.
Exactly.
You look at that, and then you see we got less than I don't know how many languages we have, about 28 to 30 languages in my country. But the confusion and the structure that was there, because everything that was started, if it didn't go well right from the beginning, it didn't go well for Nigeria, it didn't go well for Ghana at the beginning when Nkrumah was there. It didn't go well, because you're looking at the beginning here. He got it right at the beginning. And when he got it right, he played it so well that even when he left, everything remained right. What is it that he got right from the beginning that other people never got right?
You mentioned one already, language.
The language,
Yes. The other thing is elimination of tribalism.
Okay. That's eliminated by the language.
Yes, but there is more efforts when he appointed people, and within the government he made transfers from north, south, east, west, and there was a lot of intermarriages and everything.
What about the regional issues? Because we have a problem in Africa whereby certain regions are completely neglected, and certain regions. Did he go to most of these areas and say, okay, this district will have definitely share this? Because usually the biggest problem that comes in when a certain area, you looked at it and say, hang on a minute, we don't have schools, we don't have this, we don't have, but Tanzania is relatively, because do people, then they don't complain at all. There are no people complaining that our region has got no roads, no this or that. Because that's where most of the problem starts from.
He maintained peace and tranquility.
Oh yeah, that's
He maintained
important.
cohesion between the people, without tribes, without color. All Tanzanians were Tanzanians. You be a Zanzibari, you be a Melenda, if you have merit, you were able to do to get what you can do at that time. Uniformity of the development, despite of the intention, Africa at that time we were classed. I don't want it to be classed third class world, third world country, but the economy was poor. So despite of the intention, you will see one region or the other region is not performing well than the other one, based on the priorities and everything. But
Okay.
the aim and the motive was equal improvement of the social strata for the whole Tanzanians.
How about the army? The army. How did he hold on to the army to such an extent? Because even when they came to Uganda during Amin's time, during the Liberation War that took Amin's, I was in Uganda at
Yes.
the time, and they were. We've never seen soldiers who are so polite. They were so polite. They came in. They didn't steal. They did. I said, how did he hold on? Because our soldiers were stealing from us. Our soldiers, we would see their main soldiers and would hide. But Tanzanians would even say, why are you running away? Why you give, I mean, I was, one day we were walking somewhere from school and we met them and they were saying, no, hakuna tabu, hebu mjia, mko salama, nini? They were greeting us. They did, when we were saying, are these armies real? Are these people real? How did it manage to keep, because that is where, and we thought, even at the beginning, that once they've gone back, and some of them were coming and they would see wealth in Uganda.
Yes.
They would look at house. There was a colonel, a major, came in and he saw somebody's house and said, this man is just what? And he owns this house. And I'm a major general in the army and I don't have such a house in Tanzania. How did he build it? You know, they were looking at wealth. When they went back, we thought, oh, wow. The man might have problems now that these people have tested wealth. Others even decided to leave the army in Tanzania and come back to Uganda. We got several of them who came and settled back. How did he hold on to the army?
Luckily, I was born under the, you can call it army. My father was a border commander in Uganda, in Tanzania.
Across the border,
Across the border.
With Mutukula, with
yes,
Uganda.
Kiaka, That's where I started my standard one. Over there.
The Bukoba region,
Bukoba region, yes. So I was brought up by security forces, I can say. My father was there. One of the reasons is, again, that civil nature of the Tanzanians, not only the civilians that infiltrated on all state organs.
Okay.
Fairness on merit basis, transfer basis. If you are commander from this area, you can lead any other area, any other time. Number one. Number two, at that time there was a politics even within the army. So there were even what we call political commissars at that time.
In the army.
In the army. The ideology, socialism ideology, was not only on the civilians. It was infiltrated up to the army level. So that doctrine of self-reliance, the army is there for the people, for the country.
It's a Chinese doctrine. I think it's Chinese doctrine. They brought that in so much.
We took flavors of socialism from different areas. From China, from
Russia,
USSR at that time, Soviet. We experimented many things, and we benefited on that.
Of course.
So that discipline was there, and is still the foundation of the armed forces to date.
Because people were giving them bribes, and they didn't take it. They're being given money in Uganda, and they didn't take it. We said if they knew that what this money could do in Tanzania, they could take the money. The generals were being paid. They even did a rally where we raised money to give to Tanzania, and they turned the money down. They said, no, we don't want the money.
So the discipline was number one criteria for the armed forces, not only the being there just for the matter of handling the arms, but it is serving the people, serving the ideology at that time. The only party issues were removed from the forces when the multi-party system.
When it came into power,
But that discipline is still there, and that is one of the achievements of Mama Samia again. She maintained the peace and tranquility within the countries and even beyond the borders. Now we have peacekeeping forces continuing to be operating outside Tanzania.
Now the key question,
very efficiently,
that will affect that is the continuation. Because the biggest problem that we see here with people coming from abroad and coming in with their ideas and seeing what's going on, if you don't maintain that within the schools, within the army, and so on and so forth, this is where the problem could be. Because the continuity of that policy, because that generation is going, the Marimu generation is going, Samia's generation is here, but there's a new youth movement now in Africa, which is affecting Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Tanzania to a certain extent, South Africa, even in Ghana, where the people are watching and are saying, hang on a minute, this is what we want this, we want this. So the nationalism, which was created by him, there is that fear moment that if it's not continued within the policies of the various leaders who have come on and maintaining that, you are likely to lose what Nyerere built. Could that happen?
First of all, if you are rigid,
you're
bound to break. Time is changing. Adaptability is what is important. At that time, as I've told you, the politics was in the armed forces. For example, as an example. Now you cannot force politics in the armed forces.
You can't. No, you can't.
So the nationalism, patriotism has to come in a different angle now.
All right.
We have multi-party system. The president has advocated several times, which I totally agree, when she tells the opposition party, you are allowed to do the politics, but there must be a mutual respect, civilized way of politicking,
of doing it, because it's in national interest anyway.
It's in national interest. At the end of the day, parties are just the tools and vehicles to deliver the national interest.
Exactly, that's it.
Exactly. So our responsibilities and what is being achieved at the moment is to bring that awareness again to the people, to the political parties, say, hey, we need to serve the people, we need to serve the nation. That is our most highest responsibility. And yes, you've said that discipline is still, we have very good foundation.
It's the fear of the generation coming, because the generation coming, if it hasn't gone through the same policy, if it hasn't gone through the same indoctrination that the Mwalimu started, and you took from USSR, from what, and that indoctrination, which made them love the country, serve the national interest. Because what I hear now, the today is talking about in opposition, and other leaders that have been abroad are talking about, could create divisions as we go along, because the structure there, I wish we had the same structure in Uganda. I wish we had the same structure in Sudan. It's affecting Sudan so much, and it is affecting Somalia, because there wasn't anything. So it becomes a me kind of society, which wasn't existing. In Tanzania, there is us or we, but we don't have, in other parts of Africa, there is me. It's me. So that indoctrination. But my main worry is how is it going to survive? Mandela tried it so much in South Africa. When he left, the ANC is now a me rather than a we organization. And that is why Malema is trying so much to say, hey, remember what the great man said. Let's work as a team. Let's do this. Let's we. Rather than now it's President Zuma talking something else, the president. And so the structure sometimes is put down by someone who comes in, and if it's not continued, that's why I'm saying is there a way Mama Samia would fight to make sure that structure remains.
Mama is already doing that, and that is one of her achievements for the last 1 year. That allowing politicians to practice the politics. Which was not there before. So that is one of the achievements to bring the cohesion. She insists, and she will continue to insist that we are doing this for the good of the nation. For the good of the nation. So there must be a mutual respect. Of course, you have your policies, we have our policies. We compete. People.
But it's in the same interest.
Same interest. So I have no problem. I have seen no problem on that. The other areas which she is doing right is to strengthen the institutions.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's a very, very important, yeah.
To strengthen the institutions, it means doesn't depend on one single person.
No. Yeah. No,
And
it doesn't, yeah.
She is achieving that in a very good way, and that is the future, which you asked me, where we are going.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
by strengthening the institutions, we have the good prospects of building cohesive nation.
That's where Africa's biggest problem is, the institutions. The institutions are not strong. Individuals are strong, and the institutions are weaker. But individuals are stronger. So when the individuals go,
yes.
It's what happened to Yugoslavia. Tito was a very strong man, but being a strong man with weaker institutions,
yes.
the day he died, the country collapsed.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can clearly see that every leader, if he or she comes there, she can decide to be on the limelight, single person, one man or one woman show or something like that.
Yeah.
But definitely the approach of Mama Samia, the way I can see it,
is the institutions.
Is the institutions, which is a positive approach for the country. It's a positive prospect for the country.
Now, I've got something here, a quote which she said.
Yes.
The feminism movement is in Africa. Feminism movement is in Africa as well. And someone was saying, oh, okay, she's sort of betraying the feminism movement. And she quoted here saying, so look, some of you will say we are equal in all aspects of society. No, that is not correct. That is not a correct position. Even as vice president, I will kneel before my husband. I don't kneel because I'm inferior to him. It's because of love and affection. Don't leave this tradition so we can strengthen the bond of our families and bring up children through good manners. Many feminists say, anyway, that this sounds like almost like a betrayal, where we are saying we are equal to the men. Men are equal to us. We are equal to the men. Why are you kneeling before man? It used to be. It's an African tradition.
You see, this Western mentality sometimes is bringing us a problem unnecessarily. When she meant that she will kneel or she knelt to the husband out of love and affection. She said that, out of love and affection. Number one, in Western countries, it is men who kneel down when he wants to propose to a woman. And yet we don't say that the man is being...
That's a one-day special event. You don't kneel every day. Men don't kneel every day.
But contrary to that, I think women in Tanzania in particular should be proud of Mama Samia.
Okay.
She empowered them. She elevated many ministers. We have first defense minister who is a lady in this in the country since independence. The ratio of women ministers has been more than any other time since independence.
Okay, of course, in Tanzania.
Since she came there. And she has been advocating education for them. And merit-based system. Before we were giving quotas, we say that we need 20% of the special seats for the women. We might still have that, but we don't want women, and she doesn't want women to be carried in favor. She wants them to be empowered and come there on a merit basis and to prove beyond themselves
that they can perform. The issue
she gave them the floor already. So I think
the issue I'm looking at here is more to do as the feminism. I interviewed a couple of women. And several of them, when it comes to that, is that okay? We look at there are traditionalists in Africa, who will always want men to be on top in a sense that traditions give the men the powers. They marry the women. In some other traditions, even they can discipline their women. A woman has to submit to a man. But there are those who have gone through education now and are saying, hang on a minute, that used to happen 100 years ago and so on. We are moving into a new world now. And she's saying, no, I'm still, kneeling before my husband doesn't mean I'm inferior to him. But it means that I'm looking at a tradition that has existed. But the feminism are saying, hang on a minute, that means you're not, the feminism means we need to be we need to be equal to the men in most of the aspect. We need to be, what a man can do, so can I. What a man, but you're a sister who is betraying the whole thing. And so she's trying to fight that. But then at the same time, look at the traditions, where we got traditionists in Kenya. They have been fighting female circumcision in the sense that they're saying, hey, this is a tradition I've been, and the guy telling, no, that thing is wrong. It's affecting so many of them, and we want this and want this. Then he said, we'll look at other traditions as well. When a man, like bride price, young women getting married early, like 14, 15-year-olds, in certain ways. Now, these are issues which are coming in Africa, not just in Tanzania, but in Uganda and Kenya.
All over the world. All over the world. Feminism is all over the world.
Yeah. So her approach to fighting this is an issue now, but you're a woman now in office. What are you telling us that we should do, So there is that battle, because they are there in Tanzania as well, who are saying, hang on a minute, I think we've left that boat has already sailed now. We are equal to the men. We don't want these traditions. And then you have traditionalists who are saying, no, it should be there. A woman should cook for a man. A woman should do this. Why are we abandoning these traditions? Will she have that fight despite the fact that she's appointed so many women in office? But that fight is still existing in Tanzania as well. You hear that you get that in newspapers.
I don't see that fight.
Yeah, you don't see the fight.
I don't see that fight.
Yeah.
They have the right to believe what they believe.
Okay.
The feminists.
Yeah.
I'm a believer of equality.
Okay.
The president is a believer of equality. She gave them, and she's empowering them.
All right.
Which I believe that's a very positive. And many women whom I'm talking to them, they are actually appreciating
what she has achieved.
She has achieved. It's a tremendous achievement. It's a goodwill.
But you have traditionalists, but you got traditionalists who have a different approach, who want to, there are several traditionalists in Tanzania, as in Kenya and others, who are still saying, hang on a minute, this is what our traditions say. How do you marry the two now?
I think we challenge the status quo.
Because what's happening, Kenya's, the reason I'm saying this, Tanzania is going to face the same thing. Kenya is trying to marry the two, the tradition and the traditions and the constitution.
Yes.
Because at the moment there's what going on, which might happen in Tanzania during the next elections also. A constitution to how to marry the two. Because Kenya has an issue, for example, of one man marrying 3 or 4 women, and that is in a Christian concept where they're saying you can still be a Christian and marry 3 or 4 women because they have a bigger population of women than the men. And they're saying we need to do something about it because we have more women than the men. So if one man can marry 2 or 3, it used to happen in their country. But because Christian faith say this, the Muslims are lucky. They go ahead with theirs. They can marry as many. But with the Christian...
Up to 4. Not as many.
Yeah. You see, but with the Christian, the church is saying something else. Now, you find it's 3 things. The church, the traditionists, and the constitution of the country. If it's allowed within the constitution for you to do that. Now, sooner rather than later, Tanzania is going to face the same thing. And I'm looking at how are they going to mar the 3, Christian, the faith, the constitution, what does the constitution say, and then of course Christianity.
Our constitution is
straightforward.
It's a secular. It doesn't believe non-secular. It doesn't believe in religion. That's why we proved the first president was a Christian, second one was a Muslim, third Christian, fourth Muslim, fifth Christian, sixth Muslim. It's not written in the constitution, but the maturity and understanding and civility of the country, we can see that just like this country, it doesn't have a written constitution.
No, it doesn't,
But that civility and maturity of the country, of the people, tend to make correct decision.
Okay.
And for the traditionalists,
Yeah, yeah.
we have already proved beyond reasonable doubt that now we have a woman president.
Okay.
It's not by chance. People, they say by chance, but she was a vice president.
Yeah.
By constitution, she was a running mate. She became
A president, yeah.
a president. So apart from maturity of respecting the constitution,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but we proved that a woman can become a leader.
Of course, you
And now
yeah.
we are talking about the achievement of that woman leader in 1 year, who she has prospects of doing better in the next 4 years, even beyond. So I don't see the clashes of being clashes of traditionalists and constitution, and because you are allowed to follow whatever religion in Tanzania.
Yeah, yeah.
As I've told you, the leaders are intermingled, and up to now we don't have that problem, and we don't want to bring that problem in
Within the constitution. You don't
within
want
the
to,
constitution
yeah.
as well. That's why some of the people are advocating new constitution.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's there. It's there. It was Talesi, I think, one of the opposition leaders, was mentioning it as part of, if he gets in office, it's one of the things that he really wants in his manifesto, to look at the clear constitution of Tanzania and see how, because Tanzania has never had, never gone around people in district levels and so on to say, okay, we're asking the people, what do you really want?
Actually,
because
we did.
you did?
Actually, we did.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
2 times. 2 times. We had 2 commissions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And first of all, on the constitution,
Yeah.
if the motives and intentions are to build better nation,
Okay.
strong nation, wealthy nation, so be it.
I like that.
But if the motives and intentions
Yeah.
of one leader or group of a leader
Yeah.
to assume the leadership
Yeah.
because
They want
there
to
is
change it,
going
yeah.
to be a loophole,
Yeah,
or
somewhere.
to create a loophole on the constitution,
Yeah.
that's a bad precedence.
Yeah, it is. It is. We've had that. We've had that. Yeah.
Exactly.
In our country. Yeah.
Regardless of whatever the bulletproof constitution you are going to write on the paper,
Yeah,
because you're going to find some way of circumventing that.
Okay. Exactly.
Yeah?
Exactly.
So the motives and intentions
Yeah.
to be have to be focused on building the nation. Bring the national interest first. Groom the society
Yeah.
to become more civil, more matured, understanding of their rights and everything.
Yeah.
And then when it comes a time to bring those changes,
Yeah.
those people will be understanding what are they actually doing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't think, on my own personal opinion, the people who are advocating for the constitution at the moment
yeah.
are for the former criteria. I mean, bringing the national interest first.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
They might say that. I don't argue. There might be people who are doing that. But the same constitution, as I told you, has brought us under different transition period.
Yeah. Yeah.
From being socialist country
Yeah.
to liberalized, economic liberalized country,
Yeah.
to a multi-party system. The same constitution has been improved, enhanced, and now we are here. So we withered all those storms under the same one.
Yeah.
America is prouding itself now because it has a constitution of more than 200 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't
yeah.
go and rush and change it every day.
No. 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 They don't. Yeah.
They enhance it. They make sure that it is serving the people,
Yeah.
serving the nation. Yes, if you are rigid, you're not going to make it.
No.
you
No.
have to
You
be
won't.
flexible.
Now,
Yeah.
what can Africa learn from Tanzania? What if now you're president of Africa and you've seen what is going on in other parts of Africa? What would you advocate for and say, look, I'm the president of Africa and I've seen what's going on? Because we are looking at Tanzania as a model example now
Yes.
of the rest of the African continent. And we are saying, wow, they have had these changes. They have had presidents who are even still alive and they're there. They have had a structure which is working. What can they teach us about making sure that the next man in office in the structure can work in Ghana, in Tanzania, in Ghana, in Kenya, in other parts of Africa? What can we learn from that? Because we look at that, we read the papers, we read everything, and I say, wow, you might not be the most industrial, most powerful country in the world, but at least there is a structure which is working, which is not working in other parts of Africa. And we're wondering why. That's why I keep going back. That what did he do right? And at the moment, if you're going to clean up other parts of Africa, how would you do that?
Number one, respect of the Constitution.
Okay.
All these changes, transitions, successions of leaderships, one after the other, we are following the script of our constitutions.
Yeah.
And leaders were respecting the Constitution. They led according to the Constitution, and where the time came, they left. Another one came in.
Yeah.
So they competed, others, whoever got there, but the one who finished his or her term left without being pushed.
Yeah.
So the respect of the Constitution is one of the most biggest pillar of the countries, especially in Africa.
Yeah.
And we survive that, and we maintain that, and Mama Samia is doing her best. She even had a small commission a few days ago to go and talk to other parties,
political parties
on how to approach this area. And yes, she's working fine, and I think there is a recommendation which she will announce and progress at her own capability and capacity.
Okay.
I have no doubt about that. So that area is very important. Respect of the law, respect of the Constitution.
Yeah.
Number one. Lack and elimination of tribalism, we mentioned that. Is one of the areas which we need to improve in Africa. And learn from each other.
Where you come from shouldn't really matter that much.
Yes, I have no problem because we're maintaining that. Mama Samia has appointed many people based on the merit coming from the different areas of the regions. So again, she's maintaining that, and she's bound to succeed on that as well.
Okay.
The other area which we see is, of course, language, but language, it will take time for other African countries. We took time to
get it around.
And for now, as a Swahili to become a national language.
In fact, in the East and Central African region, there's talk of that in Arusha, that with the East African Parliament, that it should actually move, and even the countries like Sudan, which are just joining, have just joined, are saying it should be that. Rwanda is already practicing it now. And so many people in Rwanda now speak Swahili. Now,
even in the United Nations, Swahili is one of the languages.
In Congo, certain parts of Congo, there are people who are even called Baswahili, because of the language. They moved away from the other parts of East Africa and went to live in Congo, and they are called Baswahili. It's spoken in certain parts of Congo. So I look at it as a pillar that could
and the other thing is patriotism and nationalism has to be taught and indoctrinated in our children, young people. They have to understand their responsibility for the countries. They have to understand what their roles
in society
and as a nation in general, disregarding politics or anything.
I want us to end on a note. In a recent programs that have, in a recent BBC and I think ITV, a couple of news here in the UK, Tanzanians were voted to be the happiest people in Africa of all the, and I saw this and I got wow, the happiest people on the African continent. And I was reading this and I said, wow, how did this happen? In all other parts of Africa, Tanzania, the happiest. I would expect people from either Malawi or Namibia, which has almost similar, never had problems, Namibians, and so on. I said, how did they weigh this? They said, oh, they went around making interviews in various African countries, and they ended up with Tanzania being the lead. The happiness index as it happens, involves the package of politics, everything being part of it. And I'm saying, what makes Tanzanians happy? As a Tanzanians, what would you say happiness comes from? What? Not everybody's rich. Not everybody's might not be happy with the president, might not be happy with this. But what creates that happiness? Is it I don't know, because if they're not wealthy, they're not. You don't find a lot of rich people in Tanzania. There has to be something that makes Tanzanians happy that these people discovered. What could it be?
First of all, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I didn't know. It makes me happy as well now. I'm a Tanzanian here outside Tanzania talking to you, so I'm happy for that. And yes.
Yeah.
Let me bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
I think peace and tranquility.
Okay.
Is the most precious thing we have in Tanzania. Yes, we might not be rich. But we are now middle income country. We have our challenges. But that peace and tranquility is the most important thing. And that peace and tranquility is underpinned by good leadership.
All right.
You cannot have peace and tranquility
with bad leaders.
With bad leaders. And that is a testimony which we are now talking between you and me. The achievement of Mama Samia for the last 1 year. So I did not hear this information from BBC last year, so I'm hearing today. So it's a testimony that people of Tanzania are contented, despite of the challenges. Do we have to do better? Yes, we have to do better. Do we have to improve on the political side? Yes, we have to improve on the political side. We have to improve in the economic side. Yes.
The thing is, they looked at they looked at people don't have much wealth, but they don't have a lot of crime. It's one of the countries with the lowest crime on the continent. They don't really have low crime as well. And I think probably that also creates, and the fact that you are seeing your neighbor and you're happy with your neighbor, despite the fact that your neighbor might be poor as you are, there is that sense. I don't know. But when I was reading how they measured the whole thing,
it's easier said than done. I think it's a collective responsibility, not only on the leadership, but the maturity of the people themselves. And that's why I was insisting that leaders, either side, must make sure that they maintain the civil attitudes, the maturity, the peace and tranquility of the people, and not to exploit people for the benefit of the party or benefit of anything. The number one interest should be the interest of the nation.
Of the nation,
So it's easier said than done. But the leadership has done tremendously well to maintain that, and that is a testimony of the leadership under the Mama Samia and the collective government and the collective Tanzanians as well, because they deserve. They are the ones who are now happy.
Of course.
I didn't know that. Thank you very much.
It's there. You're going to find it. Now, I just want to thank you very, very much for coming here and discussing this with me. And I do hope and pray that that whatever we've discussed is maintained, especially the peace and tranquility in Tanzania. Is maintained under her leadership, and whoever comes in after, you never know. But it's good, and we're happy for Tanzania. We just wish the same thing could be transferred to us as well in other parts of Africa. Thank you very much for coming. I just want to say thank you very much for viewing us, and I do hope that we'll be together for another edition of Africa Speaks. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.